Hey guys, so let's talk about last night's episode of the Vampire Diaries. Damon is back, pretty much. He's back, and he's kind of telling some fibs about Bonnie. I was kind of hoping, right after last week's episode, that Damon was going to get back, tell the truth, and try to figure out how to rescue Bonnie. But no, he's decided that he needs to see Elena, and that is pretty much his one goal during this entire episode. I'm just going to go ahead and get it out of the way. Let's talk about Elena. Let's see, how do I say this in a nice way? If you've watched my reviews, you know that I'm kind of like, about Elena. I used to be Stalena, like hardcore, but at this point, I'm kind of like, about Stalena. I don't really care that much about it anymore. And don't get me wrong, if you loved Elena, more power to you. But obviously a lot of people do love that relationship. I just am not feeling it. I think that's part of my problem. So this episode should have been romantic and all these other things, because it's you get that he's in love with her and he's been striving to get home to her, and then he gets home and he realizes that she's had her memory erased, but he's still dying to see her. Even the whole scene where he goes to visit her in her dorm and they're standing on either side of the doorway and he's like, you just need to move back because I'm gonna break the door down because I want to see you so bad. I'm just not feeling it at all, you guys. I don't know what it is. I like Damon, so it's not that I don't like him. I just don't feel it. I don't know what else to say. And the problem is that now, just kind of looking at where the storyline is going, it seems like they're going to do the whole Elena falls in love with Damon all over again. Like back to the beginning type of thing. The one part of this episode that I thought was so sweet of Damon was when he does call Bonnie's cell phone. He finally sees Jeremy, who of course wants some answers, but Damon is telling everybody, of course, that Bonnie wasn't with him. And so he tries to tell him that, she's in a better place and she's at peace. But we get that Jeremy is still in pain, and he's pretty much not hearing that. He tells Damon about the fact that he calls Bonnie's cell phone, and before the episode is over, we see Damon calling to leave her this message. I have a feeling that Jeremy is going to figure out what Bonnie's pin is, and he's going to go back and listen to some messages, and he's going to hear that message that Damon left, and then there's going to be hell to pay. Let's talk about Jo for a hot second, right? Because obviously last week we saw her manage to overcome compulsion, and this week Elena tries to do the secret spy thing and figure out who she is or what she is. And then Jo just kind of comes out and tells her look, I know you're a vampire. So that was kind of shocking. Elena kind of accuses her of being a witch. Maybe that's why she was able to withstand Alaric's compulsion. But Jo doesn't ever really kind of confirm that. So we don't really have any confirmation that she's a witch. There's still a part of me that thinks it's something else. Trip, of course, is still trying to kill as many vampires as he can. He ends up taking Damon, putting him in the van along with Enzo, and proceeds to try to drive them across the border of Mystic Falls. Now, of course, we know that this is a bad thing and we do not want this to happen. So Caroline and Elena and Stefan and Alaric all come together to try to rescue them. Stefan particularly, right? Because I think he feels like if he can save Enzo, if he can save his brother's friend, then that somehow repays Damon for the fact that Stefan kind of gave up on him a little bit. And that whole scene at the end was really cool, right? Because there's a car accident with the van. The van ends up rolling across the town line. And then Stefan just kind of heroes it, runs across the town line. And of course, when that happens, the magic starts to wear off and he starts to die of the wounds that killed him when he became a vampire. But he manages to go and rescue Damon and Enzo, get both of them out of the van, and get them back across the line before they die. So yay for that. Meanwhile, Alaric ends up on the other side of the line also, and Jo is there, right? Because she's been following him. Minus the fact that I don't know who she is or what she is. She was kind of a badass in this scene because she pretty much saves his life. Alaric is hurt because of the accident, but then he also starts to die because he's crossed the line. And then she tells him look, when you were gonna die before, you were missing one thing. You didn't have me. And she pulls the Dr. Quinn medicine woman and basically manages to save him. And then another fantastic twist for this season, you guys. She saves his life while he's in Mystic Falls, which means that he's no longer a vampire. I know, it makes my head hurt too. But I thought that was a really cool little twist because obviously Alaric is not dealing well with being a vampire, and so she really kind of gives him his life back. Now, the bad part of this is that during this episode, you've got Elena trying to figure out what to do with Damon. She really tries to avoid him, and then she kind of finally decides I think I'm gonna let Alaric give me my memories back. But then of course, all the stuff that happens at the end means that he can't give her memories back anymore because he's not a vampire, which means he cannot undo his compulsion. I had a few questions about that and the whole lore of compulsion. Like, I know only original vampires can compel other vampires, but could another original, like, uncompel her? That was my thought. So I don't know that all hope is lost because, you know, maybe Klaus or Rebecca or Elijah will show up eventually and help Elena out. Or the other side of it is that it could be that it has to be the same person who compelled you, in which case she's screwed. And that's what made me think that they were going the whole direction of Elena has to make new memories with Damon type of thing. And I don't have a problem with love. I don't know. I want to feel the vibes and I don't feel it. Speaking of not feeling the vibes, let's talk about Steroline. Oh, Caroline was so annoying in this episode, you guys. Come on. She was just on Stefan's case like the stereotype of a nagging wife. And then in the end of the episode, right, he's just kind of like, you know, Caroline, tell me what I need to do so that we can be friends again. And she's all like, you know what, Stefan? I don't want to be your friend. I just was like, fine, that would be fantastic if you would not be his friend and you would go do something else, because every time the two of them have a conversation in the last couple of episodes, it's just pretty much her telling him how crappy he is. And it's getting old. I don't need people to go back to their original pairings. I don't need Selena to get together or for Caroline to go back with, you know, Tyler or Klaus or whoever she was with. But it just really does feel a little bit like they're forcing some of these couples, and I just, It ain't working for me. I guess we'll see. I mean, the Vampire Diaries, I mean, anything could happen next week. I mean, next week, everyone could be in love with me, which I think should happen, of course. Okay, you guys, that is it for me this week. I would love to hear what you guys thought about all of these shenanigans. Delana people, please be nice. Do not yell at me. I swear that I don't have a problem with Delana. You know, I'm just not feeling it. I'm sorry. Delana people, I love you best. There you go. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Totally just kidding. I'll see you guys again next week. Bye.